Hey, welcome to the second training of this challenge training series. The second training is a really important one because this is how you are going to stand out. You're going to separate yourself from your peers, from everybody else who does the same thing that you do or something similar. We want to be relatable so that potential clients know and have some sort of idea of like how you can support and help them. And the flip side of that is like you don't just want to like blend in with the crowd. You want to be completely irresistible. So how the heck do you freaking do that? Well, that is what we are covering in this training. Day 2, training number 2, how to make yourself completely irresistible to your ideal clients. Okay. So I want you to take a minute. And whether you are watching these trainings all in one sitting, you're binge watching them, that would be my preference. That's how I get things done. Or maybe you are watching them day after day after day. The thing that I want you to do is I want you to take a minute. And before you move on to the new information that you are gathering, I want you to do some reflection. The reflection is such an underrated piece of like continuing to grow your business and continuing to grow as a human being. And so make sure you take a minute to write down any of those big ahas, to write down any questions that came up for you from that very first day of training that we did. Go ahead and email it to me. I want to know what those big ahas were. I want to know what questions are coming up for you, because those are going to be the things that we get stuck on. And I want to be able to work through those. The big ahas are going to be those big mindset shifts that allow you to step into this next version of who you have to be in order to run a really simplified business. So, real quick, before we dive in again today, my name is Louise Colson, and I am the founder of the Sustainable Business Collective. And my whole mission and vision is to help you, as a done-for-you service provider, continue to run your done-for-you service provider business in the simplest way possible so that you can create consistent income for yourself, whether it's 5K months, 3K months, 10K months, whatever it is. You can do that consistently without burning yourself out. For me, that looks like consistent 5K months while only working 20 hours a week. Do I want to make more? Absolutely. But I understand that that is like my bottom line. And so I want to make sure that you understand what your bottom line looks like before you continue to move yourself forward. Because if you don't have those clear goals set, it's going to be really hard to meet them. Okay, so that's what we're doing here throughout this entire challenge. The whole purpose is to give you the tools, the foundation for figuring out what your simplified business looks like. What does that look like for you? What income goals are you trying to hit? What lifestyle goals are you trying to hit so that you can really purposefully build your business out? And so today, we are talking about making sure that you are so irresistible to ideal clients so that you don't have to be hopping on 1,000 sales calls just to land one client. Okay. So I want you to think for a minute. What do you think is the thing or the things that are keeping you from reaching those consistent 5K months? And here's a really big deal. If the thing that you write down is that like you are the problem, hi, the problem is me. I want you to write down specifically what you are doing, what thoughts are popping up for you that are keeping you from taking the action that is needed in order for you to move your business forward, to move yourself forward. Because it's not just enough to be able to write down some things on a piece of paper. If you continue to write down the same things over and over and over again, we need to be making some changes. We cannot continue to operate in the same way that we've been operating. It doesn't serve you. And so if you can identify that like you are the roadblock, what specific things are you doing or not doing that is keeping you stuck? Some other things that might be keeping you stuck that may have come up yesterday is like you realize that the amount of time that you have available to serve your clients at the current rates that you charge, at the way that you are taking on clients right now, it doesn't equate. Like you don't have enough time available to actually be serving clients at the same rates that you currently have. And so something has to change. Okay. So we're going to talk about the simple framework because this is essentially how you become the irresistible choice for those potential clients. There's so much intentionality when you work through the simple framework that is going to set you up for success and put you light years ahead of people who are doing the same thing that you are. When you take action and do these different steps, your confidence is going to improve. You are going to stand out as the expert in what you are doing because you have all of this proof for your brain to say, hey, I actually do know what I'm talking about. And that's the first step because you have to believe that you are confident enough to step in and be the expert for your potential clients. And that confidence, that is the thing that makes you so irresistible. If I can give you two like golden nuggets to take with you, is that at the end of the day, the things that your potential clients really want is they want somebody who's confident that they can do the work and that they are problem solvers. You can learn any skill set. You really can't. The thing that is much harder to teach somebody is like how to be a problem solver. And so I highly encourage you to embody those pieces, to hold yourself in a confident space and know that you are a problem solver. And that will allow you to really step in and be whoever you need to be in order to land those really, really wonderful, dreamy clients. And in the next training, we talk all about how to land those dreamy clients. But this is the foundation. This is the part that makes you completely irresistible. Okay. So the first step is to make sure you have set your goal. You've set yourself up for success. You know what direction you're heading in. You would never drive to a destination you've not been to before without plugging it into your Google Maps. That would be crazy pants. You have to know where you're going. And once you know where you're going, then you can figure out what the steps are that you need to take in order to get there. You can't do that if you don't know where you're going. The next piece is to choose an ideal client and freaking own it. This is one of the biggest wishy-washy things that I see service providers, entrepreneurs, people in general in the online space, that we feel like if we choose an ideal client, if you choose a specific person that you are working towards working with, that somehow you are leaving money on the table. And there's actually a lot of other ways that you're leaving money on the table. This next piece is really hard to do if you haven't done the first piece. I feel like as done for you service providers, one of the pieces that's missing in all of the like beginner information, beginner courses, programs, whatever it is that you do, one of the big things that gets missed is market research and like how to do it effectively and do it in a way that like actually gets you answers to questions that you have. It's really hard to do effective market research though if you don't know who your ideal client is, if you don't know who you're talking to. Once you've done that market research, the rest of these things become so much simpler. They make sense. There's clarity there. One of the things that you will hear when reading testimonials from people who've done the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp or listening to testimonials from people who've done the bootcamp is like, the bootcamp provides so much clarity because you're taking action in all of these different areas. And so once you've done the market research, then you can put these no-brainer packages together. And that is one of the most like concrete physical pieces of information that makes you irresistible. It allows you to stand apart from the other OBMs, VAs, tech VAs, social media managers, whatever industry you are trying to really be a part of. And having a no-brainer package has really nothing to do with how long it takes you to do a task. And it's not about putting everything in the kitchen sink into your packages so people feel like it's quote unquote valuable. This next piece is the piece where you will spend most of your time when you are in growth phase. And that is on the legwork. That's the networking and marketing piece. Creating authority building content, networking with people that are in your industry or adjacent to your industry and your ideal clients. That is the thing that takes the most effort and energy once you've figured out the previous things. And then the last piece is creating a really excellent client experience so that your clients continue to stay with you. One of the ways that we create consistent income is by keeping the same clients month after month after month on retainer. And if you are somebody who wants to do like VIP days and more project-based stuff, there are ways to do that as well. And if you create a really excellent client experience for those project-based clients, they then become a referral system, which expands your network and makes it easier to land clients. And so overall, it's another way to be completely irresistible to your ideal clients because you're not just talking about the tasks that you're doing, you are also talking about the way that you are serving them. By the way that you are so much different than anybody else that they could possibly hire. Okay. So just a little bit more on each of the different steps. The mindset stuff. What are all the things keeping you from reaching your goals? These are some questions to ask yourself and to kind of journal on and reflect on. What are you willing to do to overcome those things? It's one thing to say like, hey, I know what the problem is. It's another thing to say like, cool, these are the steps I'm willing to take to not continue to be stuck. Okay. Knowing who your ideal client is and how to know the difference between the ideal client and a dream client. And you're like, Elise, what are you talking about? Those two things are not necessarily the same thing. And then definitely knowing how to differentiate between a non-dream client and a dream client. You have to know what those red flags are so that you don't get stuck in contracts and relationships with people that like you don't want to be with. If you've ever been in any sort of relationship, like a romantic relationship with somebody that you're like, wow, on paper, this felt like a great idea. And then you get through it and you're like, I mean, this just isn't working. You don't want that to be reflective in your business life either. It's not fun to work with people that like don't respect you and see your value. We want to be working with dream clients, people who see you as the expert and treat you that way. Okay. Another big question to ask yourself, and this is the thing that will be so helpful to really dive in deep when you're doing your market research, is what is the big thing keeping your dream clients up at night? Your services, how you are serving people, needs to be a problem. It needs to be solving a problem that needs to be solved immediately. Because if it's a nice to have solution, not a necessary solution, it's going to be very difficult for you to be landing clients because they're looking at it and they're kind of like, I mean, I don't really need to have this problem solved. And so you understanding and knowing how what you do solves an immediate problem will allow you to step into that expertise that much better. It will allow you to jump into conversations with potential clients and they'll be like, how are you reading my mind? Okay. So once you know who the person is and what it is they really want, because you've done the market research, you've talked to them, it's time to position yourself as the solution to their problem. Like I just said, your solution has to be a necessary solution, not a nice to have solution. Which is why it's really important that you find out what's keeping your ideal clients up at night. Because if what's keeping them up at night is not a problem you solve with your offers, with your services, then they're not a great ideal client. When people say like, I mean, I could help any entrepreneur, like everybody needs a website. Sure, on a very surface level, you could argue that every single business owner needs a website. Now, looking at where people are in their business, it now becomes a more necessary thing depending on what phase of their business they're at, what kind of business they run. For some people, like you, a done for you service provider, it might not be a great fit to be targeting done for you service providers because, quite frankly, it's not necessarily a necessary problem that needs to be solved. Can it be a nice to solve problem? Sure. But it's not the highest thing on the priority list. Okay. Then we move into phase 2, the work of landing your dream clients. Like this is the thing that we want to be doing, but you have to know who it is that you're going to find. You have to know what problem you're solving and how to communicate it in their terms before you can actually go land the dream client. If you're skipping those first couple of steps, it becomes that much harder. It's why it feels like a constant grind to be out there, quote unquote, networking, and it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Okay. Put no-brainer packages together. Do your packages solve the problem that they are really looking to solve? And you're going to know that from doing your market research. And then does your pricing match? Pricing becomes one of the biggest questions that I see in online groups. And I actually did a whole podcast episode about it on like how to price yourself. And ultimately it comes down to you being able to communicate to your potential clients the return on the investment that they're going to get back. How does this relate to the number of new clients they're going to be able to take on because you are taking something off their plate or you are helping with their conversions? And so they don't have to work as hard. They don't have to have as many sales calls. And so it saves them some time in that aspect. But you will not know those things unless you do the market research piece. Legwork, networking and creating authority building content. So crucial. Your content essentially becomes like your billboard that says like, hey, here's all the information that you could possibly want to know about how to work with me and the problem that I'm helping you solve. And then your networking, those one-on-one connections end up being the relationship building piece of it. And then I can go look at your content and see that you really do know what you're talking about without you having to feel like you have to say the things to them directly. And then last piece is creating your process to simplify what you do and allow you to serve your clients better. It allows you to work faster. And because you're not tying what you do to how long it takes you, it doesn't impact the amount of money that you make per client in a negative way. And it allows you to serve them better. because things aren't falling through the cracks. Okay. So, of those steps of the simple framework, what is your next step? Where are you at? So, this is my friend Alexis. And Alexis joined the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp last May. And she knew that she needed to be making consistent 5K months. Like so many of us, that's kind of the like base of what we need to be making in order to not feel like we're like scraping the bottom of the barrel every single month. But she wasn't exactly sure how to do it with not just like taking on any sort of client. When she joined the boot camp, it was kind of like, if somebody comes my way and I feel like I can do the work, then I say yes and we do the work, which ultimately leads to you having a whole bunch of clients and not really feeling like the expert in anything because you're doing 1,000 different things. And it's not that that's wrong, but like that's exhausting. Also, because you're not able to create a process around it, things are probably falling through the cracks. So we figured out what she enjoyed doing for the current clients that she was working with, and we gave it a title that encompassed all of those different things. And then she started spreading the word and talking to her current clients and talking to new people she was coming into her network. And by the end of the 8 weeks, she had 3 hot leads to work with her in her new offers. And she was letting go of clients who were no longer a good fit. It was amazing. The amount of clarity that she was able to find by doing the boot camp allowed her to step into that area of expertise without feeling like a fraud, without feeling like an imposter. This is my friend Renee. I love all of my clients. Renee holds a very special place in my heart because she and I are so very similar. And Renee has been in my space for a long time. She has been in my group coaching group for over 2 years, and her business is so drastically different. And she's made so many decisions and changes that has allowed her at this point to be making consistent 7 and 8K months every single month, working with, I believe, 4 clients, maybe 5. Okay. So Renee was feeling a little lost and charging based on how many hours things were taking her. This has been our biggest struggle point. I have been telling her for the last 2 years that like we need to separate that. We need to not be tying our time to our money. And how long it takes you, like your value is not in how long it takes you to do something. And so she decided to join my challenge that I did. That was very similar to this challenge last summer of 2023. She had already niched down to being an OBM. She had stopped taking on any sort of client, and she had started making consistent 5K months. Like she had done all the things that we kind of talk about, but it was all very surface level. And so she decided to sign up for the boot camp in August of 2023. Mind you, she's already a group coaching student of mine. But she knew that by joining the boot camp, it was going to escalate her success that much more than just being in the group coaching group. Group coaching is great for like maintenance. If you want to be escalating something, if you want to be escalating your success, the boot camp is a great way to start doing that. And so now she has a client journey. She knows when she hops on a call with somebody, she can quote them the price. She has landed 2 new clients since ending our contract and is like completely booked out. But each one of those were 2 of the easiest clients to sign because she went into it with confidence. She knew that she could solve the problem she was saying she could solve. And that confidence shows up in your calls and allows you to land these really awesome clients. And she gained all of that clarity, that preciseness to hop on these calls and land these dream clients, these irresistible. She is completely irresistible to these dream clients. And now she's completely booked out. So this simple framework allows you to step in and be the go-to expert and then only work 20 hours a week. You being the go-to expert is the thing that's so irresistible. It shows up in your confidence. You are able to better solve their deep problems, and therefore you can charge more money because you can also communicate with them why you charge what you charge. It's not just a dollar sign. It's not about how long it takes you to do. It's about the impact that your work has on their business. And so if you don't simplify your business, if you continue to run your business like Alexis was running her business before she joined the boot camp, kind of taking on any and all clients, doing whatever work comes your way, maybe you've niched down, but like you're like Renee and you're still trading time for money, and like you're making the money, but like it still feels stressful and it doesn't feel fun, and like we're feeling overworked. You feel like you can't charge more. You're trading your time for money. You're spending more energy on your business than you actually want, and you're nearing burnout. I don't want that for you. The world needs you. Business owners need you. And so I want you to take a minute. How are you feeling right now? You have all of the information that you need in order to simplify your business. Are you feeling pumped? Are you feeling a little overwhelmed? Not sure where to start? What if I could help you and give you the step-by-step guidance to answer all of your questions about how to do this? I want you out there doing the work. That's the reason why this is a boot camp. And y'all, 8 weeks goes by so fast. The 5K Roadmap Boot Camp is an 8-week sprint. And it doesn't feel like 8 weeks is a sprint until you're in it. And every single cohort has said, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is done. Like, I can't believe we're done. And so this is for you. If you've been working in your business and landing at least a few clients, but you don't feel super confident about niching down, this is going to be for you. If you've reached your energetic maximum, but not your income max, this is for you. If you struggle to manage clients and find new ones, oh, y'all, that struggle is so real. This is for you. If you have a whole bunch of clients who are not really ideal clients, or you're doing work that you don't really love and you don't really know how to like put it into a process and make it so you're not working all the time, this is for you. I would love to invite you to the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp. Like I said, it's an 8-week boot camp with a step-by-step walkthrough to help you build and execute your unique roadmap using the simple framework to get consistent 5K months. When you go to the link, make sure that when you go to the checkout page that you put in the 3-day training coupon so that you can get $600 off. You can also scan this really nice, cute little QR code. It'll take you right to the sales page. Okay. The 5K Roadmap Bootcamp is walking you through each of the steps in the simple framework. We spend 2 weeks on market research because that is a biggie. It takes a lot to put those market research questions together and then execute, but we literally go through step by step by step. And every single week we sit down and we meet to answer any questions that have come up for you. So what exactly is included in the 5K Roadmap Bootcamps? You get access to all the learning materials necessary for the bootcamp. You get lifetime access to them. It's a lot to go through. My rule of thumb is that you don't necessarily have to watch every single video. The videos are really there to help support you. Excuse me. But there is a workbook, and that is the piece that I would spend most of my time focusing on, is answering the questions and doing the work in the workbook. That will lead you to the clarity that's necessary to take action. Like I said, we have weekly Q&A calls to answer all of your questions. My undivided attention for a whole hour, working through any super teeny tiny questions that you've had, bigger mindset block questions, whatever it is that's coming up for you, we're going to work through it. You get access to the group coaching program after the 8 weeks for an additional month of support and all of the perks that come with my group coaching program. So I want to be able to provide you support as you continue to implement everything that we've done in the bootcamp, especially that legwork piece, the networking and creating content and following up with people. That can be such a big lift, and I want to make it easier for you. And so we do in-group coaching. Not only do you get a month of continued support with your Voxer access, you also get to join the 2 calls that we have in my group coaching call every single month. One of them is more mindset focused and like celebrating your wins from the month before. The other call is like a business training, essentially, in an area that has been identified as like something we need to continue to work through. And you get a 30-minute one-on-one call with me just by joining the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp. And the last piece is a community of support and connection. The last couple of rounds, we've really honed in and created a Voxer channel for the support. And it's a really great way to like connect with each other in real life that isn't necessarily needing to be in a Facebook group, you know? All of this support with the intention of creating consistent 5K months without burning yourself out is valued at $14,000. And I am inviting you to come join us for $2,400 because you get that $600 off. It is a $3,000 program. By just being in this challenge, you get $600 off. So you can either pay in full, or you can do 3 payments of $800, or I even have a special payment plan, a 6-month, an extended payment plan, a 6-month payment plan of $400. I only have 12 spots available. In order to really support you and support you well, 12 spots. We officially start beginning of May. You get access to the materials and everything right away. So if you want to jump in right away, but our calls do not start until May 9th. And so if you are sitting here and you are feeling like you really want this business thing to work, you're feeling burnt out, it doesn't feel fun right now, you don't love the clients you're working with, but you know you need to bring on more clients, now is the time. The bootcamp will last May through June. You'll have group coaching through July, and by that point, like we're almost through the summer. So if you want consistent 5K months now, we got to start doing the work now. And to make it even better, my friends, you get that $600 discount because you joined the challenge. Yes, awesome. Love it when we do things like that. If you decide to pay in full, I will gift you an additional month of group coaching for free. You will have support with everything we're talking about through the summer. How amazing. That is 4 months of support for you to go from where you are currently at, make the changes you need to make, and be making consistent 5K months. You can absolutely do it in 4 months. Okay. This is not relevant to you because you are watching the challenge. So here's the deal, my friend. Before you move on and watch the next video, make sure you go through the questions in the workbook. It's in the description of this video. Download that sucker and answer those questions. And if you are ready to join the boot camp, like, let's do this thing. I would love to give you that pay in full discount and provide you with an extra month of support, a one-on-one call, continued Voxer access, our group coaching calls, all the good stuff. I hope to see you in there.